We are live.
Hockey Nation fans, welcome back to the early edition of the Hockey Nation Live show. This is your co-host, Cold Friendship directly from the South Florida, and we have to go all the way to the West Coast to find another co-host, Michael DiVillano.
Pierre, we had a very exciting night last night in the NHL.
That's crazy. First of all, happy Monday, everybody. And before we jump here about what happened yesterday and what going to happen tonight, but we want to thank each one of everybody. We are maybe the biggest milestone in since we did that. We started this, Michael. Look, we got 30 subscribers, but I think for the most important thing yesterday was the first time we got over 2,000 people
Yeah.
viewer this game. This almost like 5 times bigger at our best. I think it was 400 something at some point a couple weeks ago, and it's fun because it's pay off for what we do every single day with consistency and try to bring the best we can to improve this channel and a live stream. And look, we cannot be more happier this morning to come here at 11 o'clock and realize those numbers. It's not about only the number, is the way we grow, but also the friendship, the relationship we create around the world. Listen, last night, Australia, Germany, Sweden.
Right.
We didn't see Finland yesterday. Yarmo was not there. And then we got, Quebec, USA, and just amazing night. And it was great fun chatting. At some point, I could not handle all the chat.
It's gonna get
And the
worse.
update, it was just like crazy. And we're hanging down till 11:25 last night. So it was good. It was fun. It was amazing. And we're going to see what is next. But look, it's fun to. I always said in lives about small winning, right? The small W, not the big one. And I think that's the way we can just say, like I said, we are grateful for what happening last night, and we have to come back today like it was zero, and we start at zero, and let's go. And one more thing we did yesterday, Michael, is we triple the likes of the show last night from 60 over 60 versus usually at 20 and barely 20. I'll be honest with you. So again,
Yeah.
it's a
No,
great, it's
another
good.
great
Keep
milestone.
the momentum like we do, and then let's move on. And then we start the big week of the round number one, end of the round number one. A lot of game tonight, a lot of game this weekend, and already two in for round two and two in
It,
out
it's
after
crazy.
round one, and a lot of great stories happening. So I don't know. Like we provide a lot of information about Montreal Canadiens and the Florida Panthers. First, I expect Spencer Knight to be between the pipes.
That's
Ken Bill
crazy.
do not want to mention any tips who's going to be there. He just said I have three goaltender. It could be Oprowski, Chris, or um, Spencer. We'll see at the beginning of the game who's going to be there, who's going to be the backup. So it's a big story about that one over there. Finally, the big news coming from Montreal Canadian. Everybody's at the practice at that moment. We talk about this. They are there, and the end we got is Cole Caulfield is going to play tonight.
Good.
And the biggest surprise, what do you think he is out?
KK.
Thomas Tatar.
Pierre. He's like
Yep.
nothing against Thomas, but he scores when he scores, and I don't know. There's just something that's not impactful about him a lot of times.
I did some search this morning, because you look about why they don't score everything like that, right? And Gallagher, Michael, he has 11 goals in 51 game in the playoff,
Okay.
25 point. So it's 0.5 on most, 0.5. But Tatar has only 11 point and 37 game.
Yeah, I mean, I've never felt Pierre like I've watched him in Detroit for a long time. He was there when Nyquist was there, and when they got a bigger role, like the points looked on paper, but I was like, I don't remember you scoring.
Yeah.
So
So it's really interesting about that. I think Dominic Charm, he does not hesitate to put the people out when they don't deserve to be there. And I think he needs some chance. He already also split Dano with Gallagher. That's
Yeah.
on a big move over there. So it's way better. Since Suzuki now play with Armia and Caulfield, Anderson now is with Kokanemi and Tufoli. And then,
Really?
yeah, so it's really interesting about that. And we'll be see what happening. But again, we just want to welcome Le Mario OW from, and then we have also Bonjour Nicolas de Montréal. J'espère que tout va bien. Oui, Caulfield joue ce soir. Très bonne nouvelle. And they don't use what Michael bring Romanov. Romanov will be out tonight. They only bring one chance so far. Will be Caulfield. God Bobo, comme t'aimes pas faire Phil, you Oilers getting swept in the first soccer spin out first to second legendary season. I can I can hurt, feel you because you've been there, and he is right, and that's the reason why I think it was Guy from Australia. I said I don't expect any change, Michael, and any level personal from the Edmonton Oilers if this happen. Très
When
très bien, Nicolas.
you mean like the coach and the GM? No, but they've got to, you've got to, it's really frustrating because I think what Kenny Holland tried to do was not tear it down. And, you've got two of the greatest players in the game, but you need great goaltending too, Pierre, and you need to have some depth, and they lack probably both. I mean, they just, Yamamoto looked good last night, and I thought he played much better. He was hitting, he was creating opportunity. They need him to be a second line player, and he has to be impactful, but it can't just be him. And they had him on a line with Ennis, and Ennis can do stuff in spurts, but those are two smaller guys. They need a big time goal scorer on the wing. And I thought Nathan Hopkins played well, but you could just see they just.
For one, what I love to do is evaluate everything. Like I try to check the details, we talk that, and you talk about Mike Smith. We talk about we see now is getting deeper. Right, two team is out. We talk like Panthers going to be struggle right there. Right, I think Montreal tonight maybe struggle more, but you see the team struggle like Edmonton yesterday too, and Washington. You can see now where are the lack of what did not change, what did not improve and showing up, right? So you see Mike Smith, we talk all year long. They're hanging there, he have a great year. But I feel like the second season, right, was really where everybody step up, they go to the next level of intensity, grain, and physicality, everything like that. That's where you see the lack of what they are, each team. The team does not win.
Emphasized, right?
And you can see Mike Smith don't perform. Defensive or Panthers, they improve a lot of forward, but without a blend, the chair for each player does not fit. And you can see now they struggle on the defensive side. So you can go, Montreal cannot score. You're not going to beat Toronto at 2 goals per game. It's impossible every time. So you can see those mistakes. I think Washington, Samsonov had a good series overall, but you can see there he did not make the big save to keep a chance to Washington to perform, to win those series. So all we think you have a you have a lack of something. They show more and more during the playoff, and that's what happened. And the one we thought, the only reason they would win, an example, the Jet, they have a lack of defense, but they have Alebak, and we said the only one can beat everybody there, it's Alebak. So you can see that part over there. And
defense again is not bad. Like Pionk played very well last night. Morrissey's again, maybe he's not a number one, but he's legit number 2. Like he looked very good. And you got to admire what Logan Stanley's doing. Like he's shown, hey, I can play reasonable minutes and I can have an effective role. So I don't know. Winnipeg's just surprising because of how they finished the season, Pierre.
Yeah. Do you consider the game last night? And I think the reason we have got a lot of people last night is because the people follow the game, right? Saturday night we have a bad night as a live streamer because we follow Montreal. It was 4-1, people left, right? It's not about us, right? I try to understand all the logistic behind everything, right? But I think the people, the fans, and everybody likes hockey. One, they don't their team does not. So the people stay with us longer yesterday. But do you think that blow, the choke, or the blow of Oilers is a little bit what happening with Boston and Toronto game at the game number 7 when Boston came back, and of course they eliminate that thing. But do you consider that this game, like the result, this game last night, like the one with Boston and Toronto and the three
It's
playoff,
worse
and
because, like, you look at Toronto, they were up in the series, right, 3-1, and Boston clawed back in the series to win in 7 multiple times. So this is worse. Like, they're not even going to get a win, Pierre.
yeah,
And it's crazy.
absolutely right. First, Gaylor, I don't know why you want to trade Wegar. We can talk about this a little bit later. Dixie, we expect Spencer and I to be between the pipe for sure.
Yeah.
Thanks again, NHL, to push us and to.
I like Mackenzie Weegar. I don't know why you guys would want to trade him.
I think he should not. I think some pair the defense works together, right? Like one deep under the one. Yeah, you remember what Eric Carlson in Ottawa when he played with CC, how the duo was pretty good. Like CC will have a good year, and Carlson, some two pair works together. And I think that's happening with Islanders, with Pelech and Bullock. What was the defenseman? Bullock and Islanders and
Pelican
one together.
Yep. Yep.
Good morning, Lucas. Welcome back, buddy. Hopefully you're ready to rock and roll your Monday.
Yeah, I mean, I think
I agree with NHL on that one.
Even with Ekblad, you guys would have a hard time, but without him, I mean, it's well, nobody in the NHL stands up for their teammates. That's
what. So what?
We're in a weird era here.
So Pele can pull up. Yeah, but what I think, Tim, you want to mention this, and I agree with him about that one, Michael. What happening Saturday or last game? Chris Drager got what? Wegar pushed someone, Kucherov, I believe, and Kucherov fouled on Drager, and he swamped Drager, and Drager get out of the crease, and Kucherov is beside Drager, and Drager look hurt, and Wegar, Michael, did not step jumping on Kucherov. He just looking at Kucherov. And this, for me, it was not right to do that. Yeah. You jump on Kucherov, you're losing already 6-1, 5-2, whatever was the score, and you have to do this for your goaltender, for the teammate, and for your team. And this, Tim, if that's what he's thinking that way, I agree with Tim about not trade him, but Michael, this is a code in hockey where the team, you have to step up for your goaltender. It's like someone hit Barkov and nobody do nothing for that.
Well, this was my point on, first of all, there's a lot of mixed messages right now in the NHL. The refereeing on this stuff's very inconsistent, and the difference in games are power plays. So if he thinks they're going to call this penalty on Kucherov, I don't want to go to the box with him, that might be what he's thinking.
Michael is 6'2".
Oh, in the game it was 6-2.
Yeah, the end of the game is like almost like I don't know exactly the time, but my point here at that moment, I understand it's 3-3 or 4-3 or something like that. I understand your point on that, but I feel like right there Wegar messed the boat.
I don't think he's afraid of Kucherov.
Oh, I'm sure. No, but look, it was terrible to watch him. He looked at him like, all right.
Yeah, no, I get it. And the others, and I don't, I can't really speak for what was going through his head. The other thing to consider is, do you go after the other team's top player? He's still the other team's top player. And that's always a weird element. There's just so many mixed messages now, Pierre. In the past, that would have been a brawl.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. Definitely.
I think I sent you like a playoff game. It was the Atlanta Flames versus, I think, Philadelphia Flyers. And they never played hockey. It was a playoff game.
Yeah.
It was like they go in the corner and they start punching each other. And it's not an exaggeration. So we're definitely in a better place, but I think it's confusing for players to know what to do.
Yeah.
You know what
And NHL is alright about it. The defenseman I was talking about is Pelech and Pulak. I think they are really a good punch, 1 and 2 for the Islanders, everything like that. But look, we want to stay on the subject. Let's go resume a little bit quick for the next 15 minutes. What happened yesterday from the first game, Michael, rock and roll this until to the end, and then we'll jump for today. And at the end of the show, for everybody to be here, we're going to ask you right now or already. I think it will be a great subject, Michael. What will be your 3 players at that moment for the Connie Smythe? And we're going to go this like one at a time per weeks, right?
Well, I mean, again, so we talked about this, and I know you were skeptical. First of all, I was skeptical that Carolina keeps starting Nedeljkovic, and I think he played great. But the guy that played better was Saros. We're seeing again, Ryan Johansson steps up. We've seen Duchesne played well. Luke Kunin, who came over in the Bonino trade, played really well for Nashville. They have a lot of weapons. When they're all healthy, that's a very good team. And you saw it yesterday. As good as Carolina is, Nashville is able to match them. And I think the stat that kind of emphasized it for me is they won 20 of their last 28 regular season games to get in the playoffs. So when you look at
Michael, it's funny because you look at this, I was wrong with Boston, completely wrong. And I'm wrong when I was with Nashville. But do you think about this? This series, Washington, Carolina, Nashville, it could be over.
It could
be over. Like if Carolina score in OT, this game is. My point to you is series, right? It's playoff. Yeah. It's you never know what could happen, right? So it's crazy when you think about that.
There's so much parity in the league overall, and you talked before about you're seeing where guys, off-season moves are now coming back to bite the Oilers, and I think what you're seeing is on any given night, any team can, for the most part, compete against other teams. Now that we're in the second season, we're going to see the gradients. We're going to see the differences. And what we're seeing here is that the Predators, when healthy, have a great goalie. They got great defense, and they got lots of weapons on offense. And they don't even have their top scoring guy, Victor Arvidsson. So they are a dangerous team. Carolina, we already know, is a dangerous team. They've been relatively healthy all year. They have depth at every position. It's going to come down to a chess match. And that's what we're seeing. So this is a great series. Hats off to the Predators. Hats off to Saros. 2 overtimes to decide this. I mean, it's at least going to go 6, right? And I think it'll go 7. And right now, I don't think it's clear that Carolina is going to win the series. I think before going in, we thought, yeah, they're gonna wipe the floor with them, but not. I don't think it's clear right now. Nashville's showing us something. And Nashville had a good run a couple years ago, and the core of that team is still together. So it's been, 3-4 years since they went to the final? And I think that the challenge after that was trying to stick too long with Pekka Rinne, and they've made that transition. And you're seeing Saros is a top goal in the NHL.
Yep. I agree with you. I think, at the end of the day, I feel Carolina is going to win, right? But it's a good run after that.
I don't know. I wanted Carolina to have a long run because I think they have a great year, and I like the coach, and there's a lot of pieces there that I like. However, Nashville's not going quietly, and this is even for a reason. The other series, the Avs are showing what they are, Pierre. I mean, St. Louis won the Cup a few years ago. We know that was like a legendary run. They're a little bit different. They were missing 4 or 5 guys last night, including Justin Falk. And even with all their guys, they're going to have a hard time with the Avs. The skill level and the intensity of the Avalanche, the tough defense, the goaltending is coming out. And they sweep a series. Like, they didn't even give St. Louis a sniff.
Making a 6 goal.
6 goals, Pierre. And what is Grubauer has been so good, Pierre. He's like so much better than I think, this whole year.
It's sad, but I really believe Bennington have a good series. Like he got his 4 game. I think he's now like 9 straight games with last year. But I've been honest with you, I feel like he have a great series.
Very well.
Yeah.
I like agree. It was not his fault.
No, not at all.
Like he's definitely a good goalie. Like he's probably top 15. So you can't be unhappy with Binnington. I think in the end, they just, what's biting them to me is this team is not the same without Peter Angelo. He provides that level. So even though you've got Torrey Krug and you've got Justin Falk, I didn't see them impacting this series at all. And definitely Peter Angelo would have. Peter Angelo put that team on his back and took them to the final because he was on a mission. He was mad.
But I don't think so. He would make a difference for the result of that series.
No, but he would give them a chance. They would be a different team. But in the end, the Avs are just too good right now. This is they're going to be in the top 4, I think. But this next series is going to be a bloodbath. They may not even make it past Vegas.
Whatever Montreal is still in or Panthers are still in, we're going to do all the game live streaming of the Vegas and Colorado, because I really believe, Michael, this is going to be one of the best series of the playoffs.
It's going to be great. This will be legendary.
Yep.
What's not legendary, the Washington Capitals. What's legendary is their ability to exit the playoffs after one round. And they have these great regular seasons. And I didn't really believe in them all year. They made the change with Peter Laviolette. They had problems with Kuznetsov all year. They had injuries in net that resulted in them having to start Craig Anderson the first couple games. And, I would be shocked if Samsonov was really his best in the last 2. And we saw he struggled. And I mean, you didn't see – all you see, though, is Boston has something. Ever since they made the trade for Taylor Hall and their deadline deals, that team, it's like, we talk about the puzzle pieces. That piece made Taylor Hall better, like way better, because he doesn't have to handle the puck so more. And it made the centerman way better because now they got a weapon. And they're just, they're we were kind of questioning some of their offseason moves. Like they let Torrey Krug go. Chara moved on. McAvoy's played great. The other defensemen are better than we thought, and they're getting super goaltending. Like last year, they had an exit because of Tuukka Rask had to leave the bubble for family reasons, right? So this year,
I think it's funny, Michael, you said that, because we talk about Boston, and the name we don't hear a lot for me at the round number 1 for them. They win is Rask.
He's, I think there was so much controversy and some whispers like, oh, they should trade him. And I was kind of like, wait, leaving? But he had family circumstances that he felt he had to leave, and they accepted that. And I felt last year they could have done better. I mean, putting Halak in that was not a good solution. This year, though, Pierre, let's think about it. Jeremy Swayman played great this year. Great rookie goalie. Halak did his thing. But in the end, none of them were Rask. And Rask is a top 7 or 8 goalie in the NHL still. Like he's like an excellent goalie.
Yeah.
And Capitals didn't have that in this series, and that was a big difference.
And finally, I just want to mention this: the professional of hockey or hockey professional players, when they sign, they shake their hands. It was like really great and also sad to see what Shara with all the players with Bergeron was something. Was like I still see the picture of that. Was amazing. Maybe we see the last time Zdeno Chara.
It'll be interesting to see if he comes back. He's obviously, he's on that kind of year-to-year basis. I think he still has the desire. This didn't work out for him because I think he wanted to make another run of the cup. And now Boston without him, maybe he does.
I don't see him come back to Washington.
No.
I don't know.
I don't think he'll come back to Washington.
No.
But where does he go? I don't know. It's going to have to be a situation where someone has a whole, like, do you think Mike Smith is tired? I think Mike Smith is probably okay energy-wise. I think he's a veteran guy. He's always susceptible to injuries, Pierre. Let's look at what happened last night. Like the one goal was the game time goal was completely unacceptable. I mean, there was no screen.
First of all,
we screwed up on the play, but
yeah. First of all, thanks to showing up. Welcome aboard, Villar. But it's a good question. I really like this statement. He's tired. I'll be honest with you, he feel it, I'm sure. He cannot be back to back to back to back a short time. He's still 39 years old, but he show where the Edmonton have no choice. Koskinen is 3.85 per game, so they have to go back where they have the best on their hands. It's
Absolutely.
Mike Smith. And with Mike Smith, for what he didn't do, Michael, during the year and what he does right now, he gave one bad goal per game. And a game like last night and the night prior and everything like that, that's make a difference when you 1-0 in OT. The goal against Paul Stastny, Michael, was not it was not a great. He should save that one.
He should save. There's at least two there he should have saved, and that would be
that game again. They lost 1-0 in OT. That's why he should save that one. Saying yesterday the one you talk about, no screen, I think it was Morrissey or
Morrissey shot it.
Yeah.
It was like crazy.
Yeah. So
it was nuts. It was not good. Like that. First of all, you can see what's weird about that team structure is they worked very hard, but then the guys you're seeing out there like Archibald and Cahoon, and they can forecheck and they can disrupt things, but there's inconsistencies. They're not going to have an impact in the way you need them. You need higher skill players on that team.
Yeah, I understand you, but I'll be honest with you. It was the best game for Edmonton yesterday.
It was. That's my point.
Their forecheck was great. I think Kara score, Cation score. I think I like what show Archibald did yesterday, right?
Sure.
I think overall they did a very good. But I want to mention something about Smith. Was that he was absolutely deep in the net. But I would say to you, I had to give credit to Nikolai Heller on that one. He did an amazing drag to beat the forward, and then he showed the puck straight in the top net over the shoulder or the glove. I think Smith he saw something pass behind him. He's like, oh, too late. But yes, he was deep on that face-off. Perhaps to give credit on Heller. I think that'll be now. We just heard from Tixie, Michael. Knight is the starter for tonight.
Yeah. This is I think this is like.
Absolutely right with you, Lior, about that one.
Oilers need to win game 2 for sure.
Yeah. Yep.
No, it's done. I mean, I don't.
It's sad, Michael, because if they score in OT, and last night they protect the advance. They lead right now 2-1. It's so. I remind you, you just said a couple of minutes ago. It's so tight. You cannot give up. You cannot thinking it's going to be easy. Look, they score 11:41, 14:28, and 14:44. So we talk about a lap of 3 minutes. They scored 3 goals. Perreault, Wheeler, and Morrissey. And you know what I mean? Like you have to give credit for the Jet also to come back and never give up and believe what they can do. And unfortunately, they did it.
I think it was like 4-1. And I said to you, the Oilers are starting to get sloppy. Like they were kind of panicky. They were making little mistakes.
But the flip side, Michael, I said most of the people during that time, I said, I would be surprised they come back. The execution, the Winnipeg was not great. Until
in the beginning. They switched it up. It changed momentum, right?
Well, they changed what they scored 4-3.
Yeah.
Because now they realize they have only one away to tie the game.
Blood, man.
And they don't want to win the game right away. They want to go to the OT and then change everything, right? But before that, Winnipeg don't have a great game on execution, on passing, on turnover, everything like that. They have a chance, but not like and Alabak make a big again, Yamamoto and OT, I believe, 2 shots back to back.
Yeah,
Alabak have a
good game. I was happy to see Yamamoto. Even Ennis had a good game. You saw Jajar in there, but you look at who scored for Winnipeg. Ehlers gets 2. Perreault contributes. Wheeler again. When you start matching up what's on the Oilers lineup versus Winnipeg, aside from McDavid and Draisaitl, they lose in every other category. And they still lack that, like, they need 2 wingers. I don't see how they get around this. They need to figure that out. And so it might be that difference, right? Yep. And the goaltending obviously is a problem. They lack I mean, they have in the system Rodrigue. He is not the answer, Pierre. They need a Spencer Knight level prospect. And I don't know. The only way you get that is you get Wallstead or you find another goalie or you make a move for.
Well, I believe they should look for Chris Drager.
I was going to say Drager could really solve that problem.
You know, I mean, you have a couple of goaltenders that will be UFA next year. But I think they need to look for that one for fix the problem. I think the problem for these getting fixed for me. Of course, they have Larson and Barry to be on UFA. But I think they will sign one of the two, maybe both too. Depends on money. I think right now after that, they have to figure out with Nogan Hopkins. That's contract would be something interesting to see that. And then they have to maybe looking for a UFA somewhere.
I don't know how you replace him if you don't sign him. And I don't know how you keep him with the money he's going to want. It's just a tough situation. There's going to be some compromise there, and you've got to look elsewhere in the lineup. I think you retain him, you give him 7 or whatever he's going to get, and then you just say, like, we got to pare back some of the junk because they're giving a lot of guys $1.5 million, like the tourist contract. All that stuff adds up. The James Neal contract's a bomb. It's just, they've got to restructure it a little bit.
Yeah.
And they need young talent to come up and be ready.
Yeah. When he said the Oilers are done, I agree with him also. I think they cannot win 4 games. There will maybe 1 or 2 more, whatever it is, right? But I don't see them come back 4 back to back to back to back. Not the way I see the first 3 games. Again, everything is possible. We can be wrong here, but I don't see this happen.
Vlior, I think we agree with you. Like, we were debating the amount that he's going to get. He hasn't done anything for me in this series. He's a power play specialist. He's a great guy during the regular season. He's got talent. He's terrible 5-on-5. So you've got to go and look like they haven't had that guy to run the power play. So he probably gets $5 million. And he would
I'm sorry, who are you talking about?
Vlior said if the Oilers sign Barry to anything over $5 to $6 million, it's a mistake. And I think we agree with that, right? Like the 6 is high for me, but he might get it. I think if you can get him for 5, then you call it a day and you don't worry about it too much. But they've got I think their biggest problem is they need 2 scoring wingers. They need to have a second line, and the third and fourth line have to be better than they are.
Yep. I just agree with what he said, of course. Yep. But I have a question for you. How much do you think Nogan Hopkins? 2 questions with that part. Maybe some of you guys you can answer, like Tim or everybody else. Hopkins, his contract with the Oilers. How much do you think he should get? And if it's not with them because he's maybe shopping somewhere else, how much you believe he can also get on the under market?
I think 6-7 million is his number. He's at 6. So he's going to want to raise, but it's COVID era. For his production, what he actually does, I think 6 to 7 is the right number. If anyone pays him 8, I think they're nuts. Like Leon Draisaitl makes 8.5 Pierre. So really, he was paid in advance, and he's never been. He reached that peak of what he is, and he's maintained it. So I think that's the right number. Like I would love to give the guy 6 million, and if I pay him 7, it feels expensive, but it might be okay.
So stay on the same path with Oilers. I you agree he's a second center who he play on the second line? Makes sense.
Yep.
Now if he go with Montreal or a team where they don't have a lot of center or everything like that, do you, because he's going now the chess changing, he become the second line, become first line? Do you think this deserve to get an extra $1 million or $2 million? Now he get his $8 million.
Nope. He's not an $8 million player. He is absolutely better in the second chair of the second line center, and he can flex up to the first. He's always just been a weird player for me. We know he can play defensively well, but then he makes mistakes. He's overpowered in some circumstances. He's creative and he can score a little bit, but he's still going to be a 60-point player, Pierre. He's going to be like a 20-40 guy.
All right, Michael, you nail it. And I will give you what I was waiting for you to bring all those subjects before. All right, I will give you some some stat about him. His best season, do you know he's just the first year with the Oilers, he's a closely like a 52.62 game, right? So it's about like 0.9,
Yeah.
right? But after that, you have 19 goal, 24 goal, 12, 18, 24, 28, 22 is 16. It never go over 70 point.
Right.
You have only one 69, 61. The rest is 50, 56, 56. And I think that's the reason why I agree with you. He should not get more $7 million. If he can get a 5-year contract, Michael, $6 million from the Oilers, maybe 6.5, he should jump on it. He should be happy about this. And he's still with a great hockey player. He will get more points. He's going to be a good team. He don't also get pressure, Michael, if he's going to be like Montreal or a team where he become the number one center or something. Does it make sense?
Well, I think if you sign him and you put him as your number one center, you're going to have trouble as a team. Now, I can see in Montreal where they have a big hole, and he's going to be better than any of the centermen they have. However, he's going to get hurt. He's going to produce really well and then not. And you're going to go through the normal Nugent-Hopkins swing, and that's what it is. And that's why he's a very good second-line guy who can flex up to the first. But if you pay this guy $7-8 million and then expect him to fill that role, again, I will go back to who else makes that kind of money, and he's not as good as a Draisaitl who's making 8.5. So I think your assessment that's why I say I think at $6 million he's making the right number, and even that might be high for what he does. $7 million and 7.5 to me gets crazy. Like you're eating out of depth in your team. I just don't see how you do it. I'm not blown away by this guy night in, night out. And he disappears for injury or he disappears because he just gets tired or whatever, you know?
Yep. I'll be interested to see that, just follow up. But, we did, it was the last game on the scoreboard. We have to talk about that. We have to move on it's 40 right now. So I don't know what you have on the scoreboard.
For last night. So we talked about the Oilers, Bruins, Caps, Avs, Blues. Tonight we see Islanders and Penguins. That series is tied 2-2. It's as tight as we thought it would be. Jeff Carter's playing great for Pittsburgh. Islanders got in everybody's head last game. So they got to do that again. And I think that they're going to be prepared to do it. We saw great goaltending for Sorokin. Do we think we're going back to Sorokin or Varlamov?
No, they have to go back with him.
Sorokin?
Yeah. I know. Yeah, I mean, like, until he lose the next game or he got like 3 games. You remember like happening with last year with Thomas Greiss and Varlamov? Greiss came back and he had a great game. He gave the team and tied the playoff, the series, and then he gave 3 goals the first 7 minutes. Then he come back for Varlamov. I expect the same way for them. For me, my question right now is to Jerry have to be better. If they want the Pittsburgh win right now, he has to be better to the goaltender for Islanders. He did not show up the last game.
Yeah, but I don't know what else. I mean, you could go Casey DeSmith there. Casey DeSmith is actually a pretty good goalie.
We know he's hurt. DeSmith is hurt.
Oh, is he still hurt?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Well, you got what you got then. Jack Campbell and Carey Price. We know we're going to get these 2 guys. Vasilevsky and Bobrovsky? No, they're going to go Spencer Knight, right?
I don't know. We talked a little bit later about that, but yeah. Out. So I think at that moment, the momentum is shifting. This series is going to be 6-7, Michael. I don't see anything else. I think Malkin have to show up more, and I know he got point, but he have to keep composure. Nate care about the game, everything like that. I think that's what he need to do.
That you hit it on the head. Like he can't. That's why like Islanders got right. That's what I'm saying. Like you're gonna pay Ryan Nugent-Hopkins more than Braden Point at this point. Like Braden Point is a game breaker, right? He's a killer. So that's a good. That's why I say it's $6 million, 6.5. I feel he's at the right number.
Yeah, it's difficult to compare contract for a team for one team specific for another team, right? Like some point it's hard, but I think we nail it at 6.57 million will be the right one over there. But I just want to finish about the Penguins. I think they need to step up. If they cannot lose that game for me because they play at home and they cannot come back Islanders at losing 3-2-3. But will be interesting who is going to step up for them, and they need more contribution for the top six at that game tonight.
Tim's saying what I think in my head. And I think the thing is he was paid in advance. But I think the player that he was 6 years ago, Pierre, is the player he is today. So making 6 to 6.5 is the same.
Yep. Plus COVID.
Plus COVID, right? All right. So we see, let's just run through quickly. Islanders got in everybody's head last game. For the Pens to come back, that can't happen again. Maple Leafs and Canadiens, I think this will be a closer game than we think. I think Carey Price will step up. But if it becomes a track meet, then Toronto's going to run away with it.
Bonjour, Xavier. Welcome aboard, Xavier. Hopefully everything is well in Quebec. You show up at the right time, Xavier. We talk about Montreal, Toronto. First, Cole Caulfield back in the lineup. Thomas Tatar is out. That's the good news about the good news. That's what the champ, Dominique Ducharme. Once Ducharme, he does something, Michael, where Claude Julien did not do, is he's a coach like Guy Boucher. He changed lineup night after night, like the line. I mean, he's not scared to put one player with another players. Some coaches are like that. Like they don't expect a player to stay with this guy all the time. Maybe you can see he made that change. Dano split with Gallagher, Likonen back. He split now Biron, Likonen. Biron played with Dano this morning. And then he split, he bring back Likonen with Perry Stahl. Jake Avon will be out of the lineup. No chance for the six defensemen. And then Carey Price back in between the pipes. He got the nod. But I want to finish one thing with that part for quickly. Listen, Montreal cannot win any game in any time all year long if you score only 2 goals. And they need, you said, you need more than the top 6. I always said to them, no, they need 3 goals, and I don't care who score. We need at least a minimum 3 goals. They will not beat Toronto with a minimum of 3 goals night after night. Maybe 1 game, maybe 2 games, but not 4 games to move on to the round 2, Michael. If they don't do that, and they have to react better of 2 things: the forecheck of Toronto, the tumbling puck, and move the puck quicker. And they have to go inside the middle of the ice in front of Campbell. They don't go there, and I can show you night after night when you see the colorful shouting, where they're coming from, who is red, who is green. You can see Montreal have nothing in front of the goaltender forever. That's why the Panthers are 6-4. That's the best team score. They are in front of the net to get a rebound. In Montreal, not many people want to get there, and that's anything like that happening with Jonathan Drouin or the Tatar. The reason Tatar is out tonight, Michael, to think he's not going for the net. He don't physical, and he create turnover. That's it. Nothing else for Tatar. He is where he is. And I have a great conversation with the boys, with Frank Well, where we invite everybody to join Frank Well YouTube channel. He's a French connection YouTube channel. But Michael, I was stuck with one of these guys. I think his name is Bob. He will resign Tatar. I said, I will not sign Tatar. I leave it's a less for $3 million. I was looking better to keep that money with the money to Drouin, make a $8-9 million, $7-8 million, and reach someone a UFA to improve, because he's not going to help.
They have too many parts that are interchangeably bad. Like, they're just good enough to compete. And when you get into these games, like, they don't. The reason the coach is able to move parts around is because he's not worried about chemistry. That's not the issue in this team. The overall skill level is just above average, and they have a depth of that, but they don't have this elite thing going on.
Yes.
And to move a Tatar, that's why people were like, how do you put Cole Caulfield out? I'm like, take anybody out. It doesn't matter, because Cole Caulfield will be an elite player and might be, right? And there's not that much else on there. Gallagher gets there because of hate.
Well, and anything it's not easy for the playoff, right? It's not easy for
of course, but that's my
rookies. They protect him. Now they cannot expose him on the ice because they have the last choice, right? So the the line changed for them, so they have him.
Doesn't matter.
I just want to mention two things here. First of all, Nicolas and Xavier, welcome.
Drouin should
But
be.
Mike Rosenblatt, Michael, he is 14 years old, 15 years old. He said, I'm here, just I cannot type. I'm at I'm at school.
I took it off the screen because so Romanov is not playing. Drouin sucks. I agree, Tim. Drouin to me is junk. And you
Well, I
gave
don't
up
think so. I think
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Nobody's junk, Michael, when you talk about NHL player. Some are less. I think Jonathan Drouin have a great skill, great talent. He produces in Tampa. He just is not in Montreal. And the reason he's not playing right now, he don't have that kind of mindset to feel the pressure of what you get in Montreal. Listen, you have 23 point and 29 game at the first season, at the first half. He cannot score, but he's never been a scorer. He need to be was a sniper, but he failed after that for any reason we don't know. It's really personal. And but again, I think he's a good hockey player, but I don't think he's like the way you describe him, like a bad player. He's just did not perform Montreal because of the pressure. Nobody can get the pressure. Some did, some don't.
But it's worse than that because even in Tampa, the reason they moved him was because he thought he was better than he is, and he overhandles the puck and he creates problems for the team on the ice. And if you watched Ilya Kovalchuk and you go, he's got all the talent in the world, and you overshadow the things he does because he makes choices that cause problems for the rest of the team, you wonder why can't we win or get in the playoffs? Drouin's that type of player.
Yeah, I agree with you. Defensively, you can name like Dadonov, Mike Dadonov, Hoffman. We can know those kind of players. I agree with you about what can call like one-dimension player, right?
There's no issue with his talent. There never has been.
Yeah.
But his game, his puck management, his choices in the game, he makes selfish decisions. And if you look at another guy that does that, that's Domi, disappears like that or makes choices with the puck that cause problems. And Domi's incredibly talented. So it's you can't have a lot of guys like that, or you try to have a culture that doesn't bring those guys in. I mean, at this point, you would much rather have Sergachev on this team.
Yeah. I just want to answer one question he asked because I think Villior, he bring a lot of great statement here this morning. I really like what he does, the way he said. But about Romanov, I can talk a little bit more. I really study Montreal and I watch every goal and everything like that. I'll be honest with you, the last 10 games with Montreal, maybe 15, Romanov struggled on the D-zone coverage with bad decision. Whatever, like Bob again was said, he played with Merrill. No, it's sometimes whatever who you play is take your better decision to zone coverage. And he make a ton of a mistake with his first pass, Michael, and also his D-zone coverage. That's what I believe he's not in the lineup right now. We know he's physical. You maybe see him if Montreal lose tonight, and maybe Merrill struggle, everything like that. But I just want to mention why he's not there yet. Montreal, I'm sure they saw he's struggling on this D-zone coverage for right now. But he's a great hockey player.
He's a great prospect. I really like him. The risk with him will be, again, not talent. The risk with him is he's very, very – it's the same thing with Drouin, which is they're very confident in their ability to just hold the puck and get by everybody. But at some level, that doesn't work anymore. It's called the NHL. So you have to make decisions that involve your teammates. And I think if Romanov learns to do that, make that adjustment, everything else is great.
Absolutely right. You nailed it. It's a question of time, patience. All right. It's more pardonable, or it's more easier to excuse someone during the season make mistake compared to playoff, because you make 1-2 big mistake and you're out of playoff, right? So that's the reason I believe. But be patient.
I would take Line over Drouin any day.
Oh,
You think so?
Oh, I would be better with Tim on that one. I would not take both of them.
Yeah, Line is a weird puzzle for me. I can't figure it out.
I don't know. We need Yalmo. He's not here this morning. Yalmo is not around the last couple of days, but I don't know. I feel like Yeah, I have no answer for Laney right now.
I watched Laine's end of season press conference. It's because I read articles and tweets, and there's a lot of criticism of him. His communication style is very Finnish. He's got that stoic thing. He does take responsibility, and he expects success. But when you have a person like that, sometimes where you got all the ability, but he communicates kind of like a robot, it creates some problems maybe around him with coaches, and it creates problems with other players. So I think the thing for him will be he needs a mentor of some sort that can bridge that gap. Or he individually needs to say, okay, listen, this is causing me problems. I want to be great. I have all the tools to be great. How do I be great? Put me in the right circumstance. And I think in the right circumstance, that guy is like as dangerous as any player in the NHL. It's not like he, if you listen to him, he takes responsibility for his shortcomings. But I think sometimes when you get players like that, he's like a championship horse, and they get too high strung on themselves and too focused on that. And what they need to be is you need to take some of that pressure on them and get them that focus off of I'm doing it wrong to I'm doing my thing. And that's going to take a special relationship with a coach, and that's going to put him on a line with someone that complements him. And man, you could have imagine him with McDavid.
I don't imagine him with nowhere at that moment. He's a special player where mindset is not there, and I don't think so. He would be there. It would be enough for him. He would find an excuse. He was with Sheffley, Wheeler, Stashny, Haler, and I can name it. He was not happy because he does not play first line.
No, well, he never played with Shifley. That was the problem for him in his head, right?
No, but it's not matter. We give you $7 million. Just show the ice and show he can score a goal. He come to Columbus. Now he's complaining because now he's not have this.
Is he? I think in the end he's got to mature. And that's the only thing holding him back, Pierre, is his communication style and his maturity. He takes responsibility. However, I think he doesn't think in terms of team. And that's causing him problems.
Let's go with him.
I'm just going to tell you right now, Columbus won that trade. They got Laine and Roslovic, and Roslovic outperformed Dubois. Roslovic showed us he's a legit player. He's probably better as a second-line center, but in Columbus, he gets first-line minutes. So I don't
right now, you're right. A long term, I would say no.
I don't know about that.
But because you're going to see Dubois pick it up at the right chair next year when Stashny will be out. He's going to be number 2 center. He's going to be back where he's supposed to be. But again, if Roslovic can get 60 points per year, now it's another dimension. But we'll see what happens. You know what I mean? It's too early to say that. But I think we have to give waiting to see a couple of years before that. But I think Dubois is going to be, he never been the player right now. He's played with his injury at the hip, and that's bothered him since he can trade back over there. I don't want to make excuse, but I think the time will tell us. But Roslovic, he show up at the Columbus. We have to give him credit because he almost like a 1 point per game. But again, I think we have to wait what's happening.
I don't agree that Laine is an East-West player, Pierre. I think Laine has his scoring spot. And if you watch Laine, he's a better skater and puck handler than we understand. He's talented, but he should not be handling the puck. He's like Hall. What he should be is he should be part of a great power play. And if he has a guy like McDavid who is, you're right, north-south, but McDavid is also can kill you within an inch, right? Like he finds space and time and he can get goals that way. But his speed this way, you're right, is like legendary, right? And I think that Laine would benefit from. I mean, anyone's going to benefit from playing with McDavid. But
but I think for that with Laine, you just need a great center pass the puck. So
right, exactly.
You need someone he will stalk somewhere. He does not like to skate. So it's another Phil Kessel at the top circle. It's another sniper. like that. He's not going to carry in the puck like Pacioretty or those kind of people like that. He's not who he is right now. He's the guy stop at the dots. Give him the puck. I'm going to put this over the shoulder everywhere.
Yeah, I think these are all minor moves. I think these are more of the same crap that they've made in the last couple of years, and they need to change it up, Tim, or NHL. What I would say about Laine is, if you watch him in Columbus, he's handling the puck too much. He has nobody to play with on his line, and he's making dipsy doodles and stuff. You're like, what? There's a reason he was successful in Winnipeg, because the coach has identified this guy can be like Ovechkin on that dot. And he was great at it, right? It wasn't that he couldn't do other things. It was when he does other things, it's slower. And he can be pressured and turn over the puck. And you see, that's why he doesn't get the offensive production. Because if you're trying to make him something he's not, he could absolutely excel in that role in the power play. And he could dominate that circle. It's not that he doesn't want to skate, it's that you don't want him to. I think that's the only weird thing about him.
All right.
And I don't like players like that generally, but he is what he is. He's an asset. Barkov would be very interesting, right? Like, you look at, if you went to Edmonton, Laine with Draisaitl or Laine with McDavid. What? I would bet that would work out very well.
Yeah.
Anyways, so let's just wrap up because I got to jump off here. Panthers Lightning tonight. You're doing live stream tonight?
We live stream the Montreal Canadiens, also the Winnipeg Jets tonight, but we follow up the Panthers. Listen, Panthers right now are, in the between the cable right now. They are in the corner and they hope, they pray. I will be honest with you, Michael. Life and hockey, you need to learn and you need to build a culture. And you see all the bark from Horvis, Duclair, and other players for the Panthers to the bench, to the Tampa Bay Lightnings. I feel this is not what they need, Panthers. You didn't see Huberdeau bark to other players, anything like that. I think they need to learn, Panthers, to take about their own business and play where they can play and not be worried or things you're not in control or in charge. You can see you see what John Cooper did at the third act. You say, you know what? He's hurt. That's a part of the game. It is what it is. Let's move on to the next game and go hockey. My point, it takes time to build a culture of winning. It takes time to build a culture of what it takes. And I think that's what they need to learn, the Panthers, to move to the next step next year. It's a great experience and it's an amazing, amazing, great year for them, right? And now they have to move on to the next one. I don't see maybe one more W. It would be great. They win tonight. 14,000 people tonight. A cheer will be amazing in the building at the BBD Center. They suffer for years. Hopefully the fans going to respond tonight. Hopefully for the hockey community in South Florida, they will win. I know they're not going to go farther after that, but it's good to get this happening tonight. Imagine they win tonight and Spencer Knight is a net, Michael, and they win 4-3 and OT. It will be the best story of this playoff for them. And what happened in the next game will be, but for me, that's my wish for the Florida Panthers tonight.
Yeah, I would love to see Spencer Knight come in, get a win, do what Thatcher Demko did last year, pull out a win or two, make this a bit of a series and make it interesting and give the Panthers that experience of playing because John Cooper is right. And I agree with him that, hey, this is part of the game. Let's focus on the game. But John Cooper also has an abundance of riches. That team is very well constructed. They have that experience, but they also have a lot of weapons that they can turn to. And I think, when we look at Hornqvist, like 40% of his success is the fact that he's a pain in the neck.
Yeah.
So he's going to bark and he's going to show leadership in that way that I'm not afraid of you guys. I don't care how fancy you are. I'm going to come in and muck up the works, right? I don't know if Duclair is that type of guy, but he seems to be, wanting to disrupt them too. So I think in the end, you've got to get Tampa off their game. And if you just let them play and make them comfortable, it ain't going to happen. It's such an uphill battle, especially without Ekblad. I think they got to do whatever they got to do. Do you think the Oilers Jets ends tonight?
No. I would say, first of all, thank you so much, Michael. We have still like 10 people up. Don't forget to click on like. That'd be awesome. But back to the game for Oilers. I always said that the big athletes or everything in sport, they have a short memory. They have to move on. I just feel they will forget what happening. I just feel the peak or the mountain is so big right now to go all the way to jump to hike that mountain. I'll be honest with you. I think they will fall apart for today. And again, I could be wrong, but they will take an amazing, great job. Tape to set. Bring that team together, unit together, and to go all the way tonight. I don't expect that. They are fire. And on the flip side, Michael, the Jets are on fire. They are excited. They know they can shut down this and 4. That would be another big shock happening exactly tonight. What happening with Tampa Bay a couple of years ago with Columbus.
Well, let's see what happens. We're gonna find out a lot about Edmonton tonight. I think they showed us a lot. They came out and played great. I'd like to see them get a win. At least one. I mean, getting swept would be pretty crazy. We're going to find out.
What I said, Michael, is just the odds right now. When you lose like this, everything like that. If you lose yesterday 4-2 or something like that, you know what I mean? Like, not the way happening, I agree with you, right? That's why we're good. But
so what? And then what do you think? The Wild do the Knights wrap it up tonight?
This is over.
Yeah, I think Fleury has absolutely stolen this series because I think in a lot of the games, like last game, I thought Wild outplayed them, but Fleury has absolutely robbed them. I mean, he's been so good, and Talbot is not up to snuff. If they go back to Talbot tonight, I don't understand what they're doing.
The rookie, I don't know. I'll be honest with you. They will give him a break, maybe. I don't know. But again, it's not going to happen. Whatever it is, the problem is, so that's a little bit what Montreal is. They need to score a goal, and they cannot. And not because they cannot, because Fleury is amazing right now in front of the net, and we have to give credit for me. It's not about Minnesota. For me, I have to give credit and to give everything to Vegas for how they play right now.
For sure. I mean, Vegas solved a problem. I think Talbot didn't help that. You can't face 17 or 20 shots and let in 4 or 5 goals. That's junk. And I think that Kokkonen's a very competent goalie. He's not 20, right? Like, he's a guy that could have played in the NHL 2 years ago and didn't. And they thought they were going to actually lose him because they wouldn't play him. And now we're seeing they give him the opportunity. He's a very good goalie. And maybe he wouldn't be perfect, but I think you should have given him playoff experience. The deck was stacked against you against Vegas, and that's your goalie in the future, not Talbot.
I don't know.
Talbot is not that good. We saw it in Edmonton. We saw it like in Calgary.
We have a good year, right? So.
On paper, but if you watch him game in, game out, you're like, yeah, he's okay.
I know this year have a great year, Michael. Like he's like every game he was like amazing goal. He did a good year this year.
Yeah, but I mean, listen, I've known Talbot since the Ontario Junior Hockey League. Okay, like he played for the Hamilton Red Wings. We saw him. We know he's not different. Like the guys like that, he's not a guy necessarily to steal games. He's going to be very high level competent, and he'll have moments where he's not. And these are those moments where it's like you said it before. It's a different season. So I think in the end, he's not your long term solution, and Kokkonen definitely is.
Well, he struggled. He struggled a lot the second half of the season, Michael. Bad performance many times.
He had a streak of 5 or 6 games. But overall, like, you can't really say that Talbot was like that much better. I just don't see it. I think they made a mistake not switching it up a little bit.
What I see, like the last 10 games, he has 85, 90, 76, 92 only, 90, 90, 88, 0.741 the last, you know what I mean? So for me, that's the reason he could there. At the end of the day, it's not going to change, you know what I mean? Like, it's not change anything. Minnesota will be out.
That's why I say, like, you should be giving him time.
I don't know. Let's go finish the next 4 minutes. We're going to do this, Michael. Give me who do you believe is going to right now on the race for the Connie Smythe? And also for the people on the chat, please talk a little bit. Who's going to be the Connie Smythe right now? Is on the race. 3 names we're looking for. Let's sharing this before we shut down here tonight.
Fleury.
Right now.
Fleury, McKinnon, and I'm trying to think of who else has been great. Hellebuck.
Hellebuck. You said Hellebuck, Fleury, and
McKinnon. And you know what? You might have to say Hedman. Like Hedman's got 7 or 8 assists.
Oh, I think at that moment I would give more to Kucherov if you take Edmund.
Kucherov, right?
You know what I mean? Like you have a great start over there. I think McKinnon is a good pick. I can be agree with you. I don't know if anybody in the chat right now can said any other name you think you could be on the list for the Connie Smythe. That'll be just a quick subject before we go. But I think, Michael, you nail it. Maybe 4 Edmund, but I don't think so. But I think Kucherov is the one right there. McKinnon and Fleury, 3 big name. It's still early with only 2 games Toronto. You know what I mean? Like, but we just mentioned this to thinking about that, and that's something happening this morning at the radio show in Toronto, and I think it was a good question already to talk about that.
Yep. Good show, Pierre. Thanks, everybody, for joining. We really like everybody's participation. It's amazing. I love to see the mix of French Canadians and people from other countries. It's a lot of fun. All
right, everybody. We're going to see you tonight. Live streams, pre-game tonight at 6:15. We're going to go through the pre-game for the Montreal Canadiens. The Panthers start at 7 o'clock with Pittsburgh. And also we're going to talk about that for the Winnipeg Jets. We're going to live stream. We do Skull and Baseball. It's called Skull Michael, a double header.
Yeah.
So we'll go to a double header tonight, back-to-back game. Thanks, everybody. Tim, I appreciate a lot. Everybody, have an amazing, great Monday. Look forward to see you tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock Eastern Time with Michael and Cole Frenchie.